You know, I really love my Epson EcoTank most of the time, but there are certain times that I don't love it. Now that a few days has gone by and I've calmed down a little bit, I am here to give you the truth about the Epson EcoTank. This is one of those things that people don't tell you, but you really need to know. Any quick search in any homeschool group, community, any of that, and you will find that the Epson EcoTank is one of the most highly suggested and recommended printers, especially for homeschooling families. And while I too would recommend the Epson EcoTank for a variety of reasons, there's one thing that you need to know that really gets under my skin with the Epson. Yes, the Epson EcoTank is cost effective. The ink goes a long way. Just to give you a little bit of perspective, the last time I went through my page count, I had printed over 10,000 pages on my Epson. I have refilled my ink one time. So I had the ink that the printer originally came through, went through all of that. I did a refill. Of that refill, I have about half of that ink left, and I have printed over 10,000 pages. So it is phenomenal when it comes to its cost effectiveness. Yes, there is a little bit of a higher cost up front because it is a more expensive printer just to purchase, but over the course of the time that you have it, it pays for itself in its ability to use less ink than I typically found with other printers. The specific model that I have is the 2760. I got that one because it does have the ability to scan. I can do printing on front and back. Obviously, it's a black and white or color printer, and it does connect to my computer via Bluetooth, or you can hardwire connect it. So those were a few of the reasons why I chose that particular model. You can go a little bit more cost effective, although the model that I got was on the lower end. And then of course, there are much higher end Epsons that you can purchase. I have found that the cost on different websites or in different stores are usually pretty competitive. So it's not usual that you will find it extremely cheaper in one store or at one website versus the other. However, of course, you can look out for sales and coupons and those types of things. That's going to vary, but generally speaking, the price is normally what the price is. The quality of the pictures that it prints for me is totally fine. It is not the most amazing picture quality that I have ever seen printed, but it is certainly not the worst. We use curriculums where we are printing out full unit studies with full page color pictures, lots of beautiful artwork, and it prints those just fine. I have no real issue or complaint with the picture quality, but if that's something that is very important to you, then it may be something that you do a compare and contrast with other printers. But the thing that people don't tell you about the Epson EcoTank is, yes, the ink lasts a long time, and yes, it is cost effective, and yes, the print quality is good, and yes, you can do double-sided printing and color printing and all of those great and wonderful things. But when the print heads get clogged, because that does happen, especially if there has been a lull in your printing. And I have not found that there is any particular duration of time that it takes in order for the print heads to get clogged. Sometimes it's a week of no printing, sometimes it has been 3 months of no printing. The clearing out the print heads can be such a frustration because, like in the little clip that I showed at the beginning of this video, I did a tester page and my magenta color wasn't working. So I cleared the print heads, There is a setting for that on the Epson. So you have all of the ability to do it right there on the printer, which that is helpful. However, I realized that my magenta wasn't working, so I cleaned the print heads. No problem. Printed out another test page. Everything looked okay. I went to go print out the page that I was actually needing to print, and everything was printing magenta, and there were no other colors printing. So then I did another test page only to find out that my yellow was working, and my black was working, and my magenta was working, but my cyan wasn't. So then I had to go through the process of cleaning the print heads again, which is not just once or twice. It was 3 times of clearing out my print heads, which does use up ink, and then printing out a tester page, making sure that all of the segments were there, which they weren't. So then I went through the cycle of cleaning the print heads again, and then printing out another tester page. And lo and behold, after 20 minutes, all of my colors were there. I wasn't missing any segments, and I could go back to printing out the one page that I needed to print. While yes, this was a major frustration, because it is, and it took 45 minutes out of my day, it still is one of those things that it really is going to happen, and you're going to have frustrations with these types of things. Really, no matter what you use, what it is, it's technology, and things like this happen. But it is something that you need to be aware of if you are going to purchase an Epson EcoTank, because that is not something that I ever saw mentioned where some of these like frustration sticking points. And for me, this is a major one, especially when I didn't plan on that situation happening. It kind of catches you off guard, and then to have to go through the entire cycle 5, 6, 10, 15 times, it can really get you sometimes. Overall, of course, I still recommend the Epson EcoTank, with just keeping in mind that this is a sticking point. So if you come to it, take a deep breath, pray for patience, and it'll work itself out. They give you all of the tools there that you need in order to get things back working. It just may take a little bit of time. If you want to check out the model that I have it linked down in the description for you. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will talk to you soon.